A lot of people love winter around these parts, but I'll tell you one thing that no one loves is their heat bill.
It's a problem that creeps up every time and it seems to surprise people year after year, and it's not getting any cheaper, Kaylin.
It is not getting any cheaper, that is for sure. Michelle and Michael, we're here in Traverse City, and we've sort of made ourselves at home this morning, and a family that's been wonderful enough to let us come in, and we're learning about options that you guys at home, everyone has, to really lower those bills, and you would be amazed the amount of options. So we're going to start with our two experts here, and Mike, tell us a little bit about, there's a program here in Traverse City for residents called TC Saves.
Right, Kaylin, there's a program called TC Saves. It's a home energy efficiency program. The first step is to provide you with a whole home energy assessment, where we're going to look at all the insulation from your attic to your foundation, your windows and doors, your heating and cooling equipment. We're going to look at everything for the energy performance and also the health and safety.
And that's what a lot of places, that attic, I mean, we're going to find out this morning, air can really just be blowing right outside.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people really don't understand what is in the walls or what's not in the walls and what should be. And we use sophisticated diagnostic tools to really identify what you need in your home to make it more comfortable, to lower those energy bills, really make your winter experience more enjoyable.
And when saving money is something we all love, Brian. And we're talking about the TC program this morning specifically, but anyone in our viewing area, they do have options.
Absolutely. Actually, at MichiganSaves.org is a great statewide program for people who don't live in Traverse City. It offers financing. It also has a list of contractors in your service area who are qualified experts, and the program offers quality assurance. So the work that's offered is guaranteed to give you those energy savings and cost savings and make your home more comfortable in the winter and in the summer.
And earlier we were talking about just how much of these savings, and you say that, I mean, a home assessment you guys did, you found that if you added together all of the areas where air was leaking out, how big a size of hole do you think it would have been?
We were just talking, the home that we're standing in today, actually before they had the blower door test and some of the air sealing and insulation, had the equivalent of an open door in the house constantly streaming in air. So you can imagine what that would do to cost and comfort.
And your heat, I just imagine how much money we spend to heat our houses. And if there's an open door, Michelle and Michael, it's just sort of like money flowing out. It's something that you don't really want to have happen this winter. So we are definitely going to be working on it this morning.
You should have seen both of our eyes. They went,
no, it gives me like hives thinking about it. Yikes.
All right. Well, as the temperatures drop, there are some simple things you can do around your home to save money this winter on your energy bills.
Now, it can be as easy as a programmable thermostat, not as easy to say, which can turn the heat lower automatically when people aren't home during the day. This morning, Kaylin and Stephanie are live in Traverse City learning some simple tips that can save you big money. Good morning, Kaylin.
Good morning, Michelle and Michael. And you know, that's the name of the game right now is simple. The things we're about to talk about here, Jim is with Traverse City Light and Power. And the products you've brought to show us, these are things anyone can use, really.
Right. That's real true, and a lot of them are free with a TC Saves audit that Traverse City Light and Power provides. But a lot of them you can pick up easily at the local hardware store.
All right. Well, let's get to it. We're going to go over some of these, and the first one I'm noticing right here is this surge protector. Tell us a little bit about, I mean, everyone has surge protectors around their home, but what makes this one special?
Well, this is great. It's called a smart surge protector, and you can get this, actually just got this at Ace Hardware, and you can when you sign up for a TC Saves audit, you get this free. Now, this is about $20, but this will save you a lot more each year in electricity. The whole key to this is a lot of people, and I used to, you plug your computer into one outlet, and you can plug in your printer, maybe your monitor in the other outlet. So when you turn your computer off, your printer and your monitor also go off. So you won't have that red light shining at you saying,
all the time.
You forgot to turn something off.
And when the red light is on, obviously money. I see a little dollar sign.
That's right. It's just going out the door.
Okay, let's take a look at, and the thing that I've been the most amazed by are some of these littler items right here. If you could grab maybe one of those. This one is so simple.
No, this is great, especially for those with electric hot water heater. It cut down the flow of the water that's almost imperceptible, basically, and it will save money. You won't have as much water flowing out, so without as much water flowing out, then your hot water heater won't take as long to recover, and you're saving money just by using this in your house, either your kitchen. You have some for your bathroom, smaller ones for your bathroom, and this big one with your shower.
And I can say that I actually recently did switch over to one of these shower heads, and you really, for the ladies out there with the longer hair, you don't really notice a difference.
You don't notice a difference, and you do save money, and they're also free with the TC Saves audit.
And just like you can go into any hardware store, obviously the compact fluorescent light bulbs are a big one, and you guys are giving a ton of these out, but this has been a big push for a few years, and these are making a big impact as well.
You're right, they're great. With the TC Saves audit, you get up to 15 of these compact fluorescent lights, and I brought these over today, and these are exactly the same ones that they provide in the audit. And our customers, Light and Power customers, can go downtown this month and with a coupon pick up 3 of these, and also a nice night light, which also saves money.
Perfect. And you know, I have to say, Michelle and Michael, I have a really good idea for everybody out there to save some money. Try some of these simple tips in your house.
Notice that light isn't on.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It
Caitlin.
remained dark.
Sorry. All right, well, think about this. During the winter, anytime you open the door to your home, heat is escaping, but it could be leaking around the clock from plenty of other areas.
Insulation is key in preventing heat loss, but there are other newer technologies that go beyond stuffing an old towel underneath a drafty door. We're not talking about a new towel either. Kaylin and Stephanie live this morning in Traverse City learning some more specific ways to save big money this winter. Good morning, Kaylin.
Good morning, Michael and Michelle. And you know, aside from the insulation and the heat loss, it's really important to make sure that your home is safe this winter. That is the number one initiative, of the TC Saves program. We're with Gary. And Gary, when anyone gets an assessment on their home, even if they call it another company, not TC Saves, they can get safety measures done. And tell us a little bit about that green one that you guys work with.
This is a flammable gas testing device. This will test any leakage of propane or natural gas. We use this to detect gas pipe leakage from the meter outside all the way down to the appliance. This device is our carbon monoxide detector. We use this to check the output of carbon monoxide in each individual appliance. The other thing that we use is a manometer, which is a pressure checking device to test the draft of the appliances to make sure that they draft and vent correctly under any conditions. In this case, if we were checking this particular valve for leakage, we would run the device around here like this. I should mention that this valve is no longer approved by code. You can see that it's got a stem that goes all the way through it. This should be noted on the scope of work for replacement with a more conventional modern valve.
And you know what, Gary, you guys, safety is the number one thing. I'm going to let you get to work with some of these tests, and we're going to talk with the man of the hour, pretty much. Steve, this is your home that you've let us in this morning. Thank you so much. But tell us about, you guys took the initiative yourself, you and your wife, to really get these assessments done. Why make such a decision?
Well, it all started with a letter that we got from TC Saves, and we thought, well, we know where the air leaks were, where we were not being efficient, and we thought, okay, well, for $100, let's just do the audit and see where we're at. And come to find out, we didn't have a clue what was going on in this house. When these folks brought out all of their testing equipment, they actually found places in this house that we even didn't know existed. And it was really fun to watch this come together. And when they came up with their assessment, with all of the things that they could do to make improvements, it just astounded us.
And you guys are getting the work done, and it's expected to be done later this week. And tell us just very quickly, do you expect to save some big money this winter on your bills?
Yes, as it comes to find out that we've had some terrible leakage in here that we didn't even know about, and I'm excited. I've got some information coming from Traverse City Light and Power and DTE, so I'm going to make some comparisons when this work is all finished, and I'm sure we're going to see a big difference.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Steve, for having us. And Michelle and Michael, we're getting into the nitty-gritty stuff now. The contracting team is here, and we're going to be busting into walls, blowing some insulation. There's so much you can do, especially in the older homes. You need to make sure that you get it checked out before old man winter arrives.
Man.
Sage advice.
Kaylin getting down and dirty this morning.
Yeah.
All right, it's 7:18 now, Michigan this morning.
Well, even a small leak can have a big impact on your heating bills this winter.
That's why Traverse City has a program to teach you how to prepare your home for cold temperatures and rising energy bills. Kaylin and Stephanie are live in Traverse City getting a home ready for old man winter. Hi, Kaylin.
Hey, Michelle and Michael. And we're here in front of this system. I feel like we're in E.T. or a movie when the doors are all sealed off. But this really is going to show us something interesting, Gary. We'll get to it in a second. But before we start, we need to learn a little bit about how homes are built.
and especially how they lose heat. That's the most important thing. A little building science is in order before we get into the more complicated segments this morning. So let's talk about the two main reasons that a building loses heat. The first is conductive loss. Conductive loss is simply molecule to molecule of heat transfer. If, for example, this exterior wall, if it was 70 degrees inside the house and 0 degrees outside the house, conductive loss is the molecule to molecule transfer through the drywall, through the studs, through the exterior sheathing and siding, and then the heat radiates away from the house. That is typically 4 to 7 times higher than convective loss.
And convective loss is?
Airflow loss. And typically what that is just leakage, okay? It could be leakage around the window. It could be leakage anywhere in the house where there could be a hole or a cavity. It's also very important for your viewers to understand that the home actually works as a system. We have learned in modern building science that if we alter one system in the home, it surely will have an effect on the other. So very, very important.
And we're talking about altering systems. Let's really quick, I don't want us to run out of time, get to what is this? I mean, we turned it on earlier. Yep. If you could turn it on right now.
I will.
This is sort of, you've sealed off this door.
This is the blower door, and what this does is puts a slight depressurization on the inside of the house. In so doing, it's like simulating a 25-mile-an-hour wind blowing on all sides of the house at one time. It makes it very, very easy to see the air infiltration pathways, okay? So we just depressurize the house to an industry standard of 50 pascals, and then actually read the CFM leakage through the house.
And when this is something people have when there's an assessment, and really quick, before we run out of time, this tool you have in your hand is amazing.
Thermal imaging camera, and what this does is it only reads heat transfer. In other words, this would read the same if it was a pitch black room as right now. In this corner here, we can see that that inside corner is quite a bit colder because of the building materials that exist there. So a very, very valuable tool as well in regards to diagnosis of the home.
Wonderful. There are so many tools you can use to find out all about this stuff. The TC Saves program, we'll get all that information up on our website, as well as the Michigan Saves program for those of you who do not live in the TC area. There are options like this for you anywhere in the viewing area. Michelle and Michael.
All right. Thanks, Kaylin. Well, the TC Saves program is aiming to help Traverse City residents save hundreds of dollars on this winter on their heating bills.
And this morning, we've been learning ways you can fix your home to get it up and ready for the winter. Kaylin and Stephanie live in Traverse City with more information on the program, and they're working on another project inside. No shortage of things to do, Kaylin.
Michael and Michelle, there's plenty to do. We've made our way all the way up to the attic here in the home, and we've cut this little hole, and we've put Jeff in there, not us, Dan. But tell us a little bit about, I mean, there is an intense draft coming in this room just from this tiny attic.
Well, that's true, and really to seal the attic is the most important thing you can do in the house. The way that a house works is warm, moist air presses up against the ceiling. It creates a positive pressure against the ceiling, and any areas where air can get through that ceiling, air is going to go through. So at Anderson Builders, we don't even insulate a ceiling unless we first air seal it because we think it's a waste of the customer's money.
And what is he doing right now? We can see that he's spraying some foam. Is this helping, obviously, save money?
Well, this is saving money, certainly. It's stopping airflow from coming up through the walls. In any wall, whether it's an interior wall or an exterior wall, air goes in through the outlets, goes in under the baseboard, goes in through any penetration through that wall, and migrates up through the wall and comes out the top of it. So no matter what kind of insulation you put up there, unless you air seal first, that air is going to escape from the house.
And tell us a little bit about the foam. What is it? I mean, does it grab onto everything and sort of just lock it? No air is coming through that foam.
No air comes through the foam at all. So what we do is seal the top of all the partitions, interior and exterior, and then we seal all the light fixtures. And then I don't know if you can see what Jeff is doing right now. He's sealing a light fixture right now so that no air escapes through there. You'd be amazed at how much air escapes through these fixtures. The next thing he's going to do is, for a recessed can, we can't put the insulation or the air sealing right against the can because it would be a fire hazard. So we build a fireproof insulated box, put it over the can, and then seal that down. And that completely stops the airflow from coming through.
And I find it interesting that you guys at Anderson and some other builders, they won't insulate an attic space unless you do this foam, because really then the attic, the insulation sort of acts like an air filter. And you mentioned earlier you're sort of heating the whole neighborhood for everybody.
That's exactly what happens. When fibrous insulation acts very much like a filter on a furnace. And if you look in your attic and you have fiberglass or cellulose insulation, you'll see dark spots. And that's an area where air is flowing up through the insulation It's cleaning the air before you heat the neighborhood at your cost.
At a cost we don't want to have. This is very, very interesting. Good kudos to Stephanie for getting in that little, I know, it's not easy, you guys. But as you can see, there's plenty to do.